Another impressive performance from Ace Bailey and the other young Jazz players, plus Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, Dylan Harper. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Postgame Show. All right, guys, before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I have not done this for a little bit. I'm going to test this right now. I probably should have done this before the show started, but we are going to bring up, look, there it is. We're bringing it back. I think for now, we just will. So we got to move me over here. All right, let's talk about the Jazz and the Spurs. First off, we've got to talk about the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, he might be the MVP this year. He is that good. He is so good. If the Spurs come out of this season, and let's make this a little bigger so you can read it and so can I. Victor Wembanyama was incredible tonight. We know how good he is, and he's just getting better. And he's listed at 7'5" now, and I think that's without shoes. It's just crazy. I mean, just watching him play with how long and big he is. I mean, he looks like Jack Skellington out there, but he is so fluid and he has so much skill and he's so driven. It's crazy. I honestly was like watching it and I was just thinking about just like, this is like maybe the tallest person in the world. And he also happens to be super athletic and the best basketball player in the world. What are the odds? What are the odds? Anyways, he is just absolutely incredible. And he was worth all the hype. And that's why anytime anyone said something about him, I was like, that you draft him. This makes no sense. And it was a mistake not for Utah to try their best to go get him, right? We've learned already with Ace Bailey that was the right thing to do. Oh, I believe in Steve. You were there in San Antonio. That's awesome. But anyways, it was, he's incredible, and the Spurs are going to be interesting this year. They're definitely not going to be in the lottery again. Holy cow. I thought it was interesting. They didn't start Dylan Harper, but Dylan Harper looked really solid for them. Plus 20. He just, you knew he was going to be a good NBA player. He didn't have the most impressive percentages in Summer League, but I was not too worried about it. But he showed tonight how good he can really be. Just 4 for 6 from the field, 3 assists. He was a plus 20. He played solid, 9 points. Can't argue with that. So really nice duo for the Spurs they got there. And honestly, Harper might be so good that, they may look to trade De'Aaron Fox. That was what was a little bit crazy about this game. And also interesting is like no Stephon Castle, no De'Aaron Fox, and you have Dylan Harper. Why wasn't Dylan Harper starting? That was weird to me. That's dumb. But anyways, Dylan Harper looks amazing to me, and I think that there's just going to be a point where he just gets better and better and better. I was impressed. You knew he was going to be good. And we'll see. I mean, this is looking like a really good draft class already. Like the top of the draft looks really good. Not much else to say. They did rest a lot of players. Carter Bryant played 27 minutes, and everyone lost their minds on draft night, but he was a minus 13, 4 turnovers. I think he hit 1 3. But Carter Bryant 2 for 8 from the field. He hit 2 for 5 from 3. We'll see. I mean, he's an athlete, and he kind of projects to be a good defender. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of people really liked him in the draft, but we'll see. All right, let's talk about the Utah Jazz, my favorite team in the NBA, the team that I wake up thinking about, I go to sleep dreaming about, and the thing that I'm just going to keep dreaming about, we're just going to talk about Ace Bailey first. Alphabetical Ace. Ace Bailey tonight has just, guys, we got to talk a little bit about just 8 for 13 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Again, he took 5 threes last game, 5 threes this one. He is now 4 for 10. He's a 40% three-point shooter so far this preseason. He had 9 rebounds. Let's see. No, that's key. He had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and just 2 turnovers. for a guy that everyone was complaining about his handle. And, his handle's not there yet. That's what's scary. Guys, think about that. The handle's not even there. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough that he can take that curl play that used to be run for Matt Harpering. Now it's running for Ace Bailey, and he's just almost automatic. It's really impressive stuff. And he creates separation with his footwork. He's so big and long, and he's got great balance. I mean, one of the things I'm just super impressed with Bailey is that he's looking almost polished at this point. And what that tells me is that this kid is extremely coachable. What an incredible attitude. You've got to love the humility. I mean, this kid was absolutely lambasted, just absolutely slandered during the draft process. And everything we were told about all the stuff, not wanting this, not wanting that, blah, 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 it was just wrong. The kid is awesome. He's humble. He's got a great attitude. He's a fun personality. His teammates like him. And he's really good. And we're learning that he's extremely coachable. And obviously, you've got to give the vast majority of the credit to Ace Bailey, because he's doing all these things. And you can't, coaches are only good as their players are sometimes, and most times. But you do got to give some credit to the Jazz, who have set him up to succeed in a huge way. Everything they're doing is putting him in a situation to succeed, and he's taking advantage. Right now, Ace Bailey's handle is not good enough that you can just kind of put him, you can spread out, put him on the wing and let him do work against one-on-one. No doubt he can do that in certain situations, but his handle's just got to get better. As that handle gets better, you can do more of that. But instead, what Utah's done is they are setting up plays. He does that wraparound screen, gets that ball, free throw line extended, and just knocks down the shot. He's also getting 5 threes a game so far, and he's hitting them at a high percentage. Bryce Sensabaugh is getting all the love right now for his three-point shooting, but he went 2 for 8 from 3 tonight. Ace Bailey, 2 for 5. It's really impressive stuff. The shooting is so smooth. I have nothing but great things to say. And the fact that he's running those plays, he's moving the ball within the offense. I know he only had 1 assist tonight, but he moves the ball. Last game he had 3 assists. You're not having him really take the ball up 3-point line extended and running pick and rolls just yet. Although I am noticing they're doing a little bit of that to just give him a chance. And even in those situations, he's doing pretty well. He is not a selfish player either. When he's driving from the 3-point line, he's not just thinking solo, just score the ball. There's been multiple times where he sees the center open, driving to the basket from the dunker spot, things like that. Or he's just passing it out. If the shot's not there, he's not taking it. This was one of the things that, I talked about with Keonte George. I have been a very big fan of Keonte George. And one of the things I'm loving with him is he's doing a little bit better with this, is just shot selection. Sometimes with efficiency, all these guys can shoot it and score. It's just a lot of times with the efficiency, it's knowing what shots you aren't going to make or what shots you can't make, and having the ability to pass out of that. And Ace Bailey's doing that. Bailey is taking shots, honestly, and maybe there's 1 or 2, but I don't really think there was a shot tonight that I was like, oh, maybe pass that out next time, right? Maybe 1 or 2. I can't remember. I'll have to watch the game again. But he just makes really smart decisions. He's playing like a poised veteran at this point, and I love it. Here, let me move it up so you can actually see his box score. Anyways, I cannot say enough. And I've mentioned this on Twitter the last 2 games. This is the worst he's going to be. There is definitely room to improve and get better in certain ways, but it is really, really exciting to see what he's doing now. For example, he only took 2 free throws tonight. What happens when Ace Bailey improves that handle, gets, into positions, drives to the basket, gets some physical contact and things like that? Because he's so good, he's going to get calls. He's going to get them. And if he gets up to 6 to 8 free throws a game, somewhere in that range, because he's driving to the basket and then knocking down threes, I mean, you can see how Ace Bailey is like this really big nice, high-powered computer, and it's got slots for upgrades, right? It's got memory slots, and Utah's just going to keep adding and adding and adding, and he's just going to get better and better and better. It's really, really exciting stuff, guys. It's hard to find there's things you can look at and say, hey, yeah, the handle, the driving to the basket, the free throw rate, yes, those will need to improve, but my goodness, it's getting a little bit difficult to nitpick here because he's doing so much. On top of that, he's a good defender already. I mean, you can see certain times where he gets a little bit lost here and there, but that's what rookies do. But he is engaged. He is rebounding the basketball. He had tonight another 2 steals. He defends. And when he's when he was at Rutgers, and I wrote about this on SLC Dunk, I can't remember if I talked about it on here, but their plus minus with Ace Bailey was the best at Rutgers. It wasn't Dylan Harper. Their on-off numbers, when Ace Bailey was off the floor, they were much worse. And when he was on the floor, much better. And a big part of that was the defense. Ace Bailey is a good defender. And you put him on the floor with Taylor Hendricks, Ace Bailey. I mean, and we've got some things to talk about with Taylor Hendricks, which also kind of coincides with, I mean, guys, this is an exciting era we're in. This is like chapter 1 of a new era that looks extremely promising. It's like chapter 1, Ace Bailey's arrival, right? And we meet our hero of this story. We're going to meet more characters as this story goes along. We've had some prologue, and it's been tough, and I love some of the guys in our prologue. With like Keonte George and Bryce Sensabaugh. Cody Williams had some nice moments tonight. Obviously, Taylor Hendricks. But man, chapter 1 is looking really fun of this new era. It's really fun. And we're in chapter 1. We ain't in prologue anymore. We're in chapter 1. And yes, we're going to lose some games tonight. We saw that with this Spurs team. Who rested a lot of their players that second half, but Utah came back from a big deficit and honestly should have won. By the way, the refs in this one were, Wembanyama got breathed on and he went to the free throw line, and Utah couldn't. Honestly, I mean, Sensabaugh got to the line a lot, but there was a few times where you're like, how did he not get a foul? So anyways, what else is there? I was just gonna say just the physical talent and tools alone. With his quickness, gets over screens, he has effort on the defensive end, and that's probably something we need to talk about a little bit too, is he has a motor, and not everyone has that same motor that goes, and on the defensive end they try, and they're trying to make plays and things like that. He's got it. So I just can't say enough. So exciting what Taylor Hendricks is doing. Svi Mikhailuk, not much to say there, minus 14. That's all we got. Let's go. Taylor Hendricks. All right. Taylor Hendricks is I'm just excited. And he didn't even hit his threes tonight. And I'd say he was a +1 tonight. 15 points. Oh my gosh. Just Josh in your podcast. Thanks for the $10, my man. Freaking awesome. I really appreciate it. Things are going well, guys. Thank you so much. The donations, they mean a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Taylor Hendricks, though, tonight, 15 points. He took 7 free throws. How cool is that? And that was one thing that was making me really excited and happy, was that Taylor Hendricks was driving to the basket. He was driving to the basket, getting fouled. He was either doing that or he was knocking down shots, putbacks, and things like that. And the 3-point shot wasn't even falling tonight. And it just feels like it's very, very likely that he's going to be somewhere between 36 and 40% from 3. He shoots it well. Hopefully we just see this consistently go up, but we've seen him shoot it and shoot it well. So that's going to be one of the things to watch this year, is just, as the season goes on, let's see how that 3-point percentage goes, but it looks pretty good. He's going to need some conditioning, and that's going to be part of it. He looks a tiny bit slow. I mean, sometimes you're like, is he slow? Maybe it's a little deceiving. He also just plays really smooth. But as he gets in game shape, which I'm sure is going to take, a little bit of time, coming off a catastrophic injury, he's doing great. And I'm sure he went through camp really well. But anyways, I'm excited about Taylor Hendricks. And Taylor Hendricks looks like he could be the power forward of the future to me. Like, how fun is it watching Ace Bailey and Taylor Hendricks? There was one moment I was just enjoying just the defensive side of the ball for this Jazz team. They were just switching on everything. And the fact that you can switch with Ace, switch with Hendricks, and you can keep those players. I mean, I have not, in this short preseason, I've seen the Jazz stop more drives to the basket and slow down more possessions and force more end of clock possessions and than I've seen in a while. And that's what happens when you fill the floor with big, long, athletic defenders. In fact, I would give a big old shout out to Cody Williams, who, by the way, look at that. Cody Williams plus 23. Now, I know he's got a long ways to go, but one of the things that I think people need to honestly calm down a little bit about is we got to look at these players. They're on both sides of the floor, right? Cody Williams tonight had probably his best night as a Jazz man, because this was like live rounds, and it was kind of big time atmosphere. Shout out to that Spurs crowd. They were into it. And he played well, 50% from the field. Can't argue with that. 3 for 4 from the free throw line. That's aggression. He really took the ball and did some things with it, and that was nice to see. 2 assists as well, and a steal. But the point I want to make here, and we can probably just kind of skip to Cody Williams a little bit, but Taylor Hendricks, Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, that is length on the floor and athleticism, and that switchability. And Cody Williams, as he just gets stronger, he's still one of the youngest players on the team. He's still extremely young. In fact, let's just open this up. How old is Cody Williams? He's only 20. Yeah, he's almost as young as Ace Bailey. He was like the youngest player in the draft last year. So can we calm down a tiny bit? For reals? Like, let him just develop, and he got sick last year. I don't know. Can we just... I got COVID during Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and I was going to die. And these guys get these things and have to play at an elite level. It's got to be tough, so especially when you're a rookie. So I guess we'll just switch to Cody Williams here pretty quick. But 4 for 8 from the field, 12 points, plus 23. Biggest plus minus of the Jazz. That's defense. Plus minus has a lot of noise, and you don't always use plus minus a lot. But when it's that much, it tells you something. And one of the things that tells me is defensively, he helps. I saw a few deflections from him. He had 1 steal, and then I don't know. I wish we had advanced on here to go along with these, but just the deflections. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in some of those advanced stats, just in deflections and things like that. So this length and size, and what's exciting about Cody Williams is he's pretty good with the ball in his hands. He's got a pretty good handle. He's got a pretty decent crossover. You saw him kind of cross up his man a couple times, and he moves the ball. So if he's driving to the basket and if he's knocking down threes, I know tonight 1 for 3, but you'll take it. But you just combine the defense, the handle, the shooting. I mean, you can see it. Is he going to be an all-star or even a starter? I don't know. Maybe. But if he's playing off the bench and you have just length and athleticism and shooting and a little bit of ball handling, that's great. But is he there yet? Probably not. And does he lose minutes when Utah starts playing more of their guys? It's going to be interesting when Filipowski comes back. I don't know how George Niang fits into this picture. And then obviously Lowry and Walker Kessler, whatever is going on with that. He's going to lose some minutes. But it's okay. What we're seeing is what you want to see, improvement. So not everything is just the same. Not everyone's Ace Bailey. But it's pretty exciting to see Cody Williams have a nice night. Really nice, because he was a number 10 pick, and you would like to hit on all your lottery picks. So we got to talk a little bit about, normally I wouldn't talk about Nurkic, but there's some really interesting kind of basketball theory here going on and logic. I don't know. Yusuf Nurkic is such a different player than Walker Kessler. And I think it was Ben Anderson, or maybe it was Sarah Todd, but had a good tweet kind of comparing what Nurkic is doing to when Kelly Olynyk was on the Jazz. What I really like about Nurkic, and I guess I didn't really realize before he came on the Jazz, and he only had 2 assists tonight, but he had like 5 the game before, is he passes the ball well. And you can really tell that Will Hardy likes a big at the top of the three-point line passing the ball. You know, it really opens things up. Like Cody Williams had a really nice cut to the basket where he got the ball, laid it up nicely. We've seen a few times with Ace Bailey where he's gotten a few nice buckets just right near the basket, cutting to the basket. Seems like that's something that that Will Hardy really wants. And I just think it's interesting with this contract situation with Walker Kessler. I'm going to do a video tomorrow talking about the latest rumor. Yes, there were multiple. But just with what's going on with Walker Kessler, I just don't really see Walker Kessler as this player that can kind of face up to the basket. And you can't really do that if you're not a shooter. Yusuf Nurkic is, you know, kind of very close to being washed, but he's actually played a lot better than I kind of expected. But him being able to kind of shoot that ball from the three-point line and also being just a big, good rebounder is really nice for the offense. You know, it really does open things up a little bit, and you don't really have that element when Walker Kessler's on the floor. And so I think that's what the Utah Jazz are probably kind of thinking right now. The latest rumor came from Zach Lowe. I can't remember if I talked about that one or a new one. I think I talked about that last video. But Walker Kessler is asking for a lot of money, like a lot of money. And, you know, probably in the 25 to 30 mil range, I would imagine. And it's really hard to pay that high of a percentage just Josh in your pod. Let me just finish this thought and I'll get to your question. I'm sorry I missed it. It's really hard to pay that much money to a player that's just a traditional center. It's not that Walker Kessler isn't good, because he is. He's very good. He's a starting center in the NBA, no question. But that's kind of all he is. He is a starting caliber center, and I don't know if you can pay more than like $20 million. Yes, the cap's going to go up, but it's a lot. It's interesting that when you have Yusuf Nurkic on the floor, he's not as good as Walker Kessler defensively, obviously, but he's not horrible. He can't get out if he gets put out on the perimeter, he's going to get cooked. It just is. And that's why Utah switched to Taylor Hendricks at the 5. By the way, that was really interesting. That's something, I forgot to talk about that. But anyways, Nurkic can get that ball at the top of the three-point line. He makes good passes, and it opens up the offense. Utah is scoring a lot in this preseason. Yes, they're allowing a lot of points, and so that's something they're going to have to work on. But they are scoring a lot. Another 130 points tonight. So Utah is going to score a lot. People are going to score a lot against Utah, but part of that is Yusuf Nurkic being at the top of the three-point line, making passes to cutters and things like that, and it's working. So I don't know. I'm going to be really watching that Walker Kessler thing close. I almost feel like he's more likely to be traded at this point than Lowry is, because his contract is so tradable. And we know that from the latest rumors that the Suns are interested in Walker Kessler. And so you guys know that I'm a big fan of Malawach. Malawach for Kessler, who says no? Malawach can shoot the 3. And if he can pass the ball from that top of the three-point line, things get pretty exciting. All right, so just Josh in your pod. Thank you again. $2 more. You're so nice. Let me see. Let's see. Please read my question. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, it's above your comment. Okay. This is all well and good, and don't get me wrong, the future looks bright. However, despite what the higher-ups say, they have to tank again this year, right? I think so. 100%. I mean, you look at what Ace Bailey's doing. And guys, this is what we talked about all last year, you know, and it's why people got sick of me or whatever. But you just don't get this caliber of player on the Jazz in any other way, unless they're kind of at the washed up end of their career, right? Now Utah has Ace Bailey minimum 7 years, and probably more with how strict the CBA is and how much money the Jazz can pay. They are going to pay Ace Bailey. Now, it's 2 preseason games, but man, everything is set up to keep those players. And, you know, the Jazz fans who are always like, oh, everyone leaves and everyone wants to leave. Well, you know what? It's a new era in the Jazz basketball world. They are not going to just trade guys anymore. They drafted Ace Bailey. They're doing right by him. They're already setting up plays to make him succeed, and it's looking really good. And if Utah goes into this upcoming draft and wins the top 3 pick, they're good with any of those 3 players. And then all of a sudden, you've got a team. If you get, you know, I honestly feel like Debonsa might be the worst fit. You put Taylor Hendricks at the center, you put Cam Boozer at the 4 and Ace Bailey at the 3, and oh my gosh, that gets exciting. Or you get Darren Peterson, who might be the number 1 pick, in my opinion. We'll have to watch how college basketball goes. But he looks like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He looks awesome. And you put him as your lead guard. Maybe Keonte George continues to play well. By the way, looked awesome tonight. And have him be kind of your lead ball handler, and then Ace Bailey's playing off of him, and you've got yourself an extremely good team. And the way the CBA is set up, you can keep your 2 stars, and that's kind of who you pay. And then outside of those 2 players, then you really mix and match and pick who you want to fit around them. And because Utah has so much young talent, because Utah has so many draft picks, they can draft for need later in the first round, which is always honestly a better place to do it. When you're at the top of the draft, you draft for best player available. So if AJ Debonsa this season just is hands down the best player, then you draft him. But, you know, if they land Debonsa, Boozer, or Peterson, all 3 could pair with Ace Bailey in an extremely exciting way. And it's extremely, it's exciting to think what the Jazz are going to do. It's why I also think Utah probably makes these trades. I'll have to make a video about the trades. I'll do it tomorrow. Tonight we're doing live stream. So thank you for the question, Just Josh in your pod. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we've talked Taylor Hendricks, we've talked Jusuf Nurkic, Ace Bailey. Let's talk about Keonte George. 35 minutes tonight. Another really nice assist night. Keonte George with 8 assists, 9 rebounds, a near triple-double tonight, 12 points. You've got to be impressed with what Keonte George is doing. He is making better decisions. He's being forced into some really difficult situations, and it's helping everyone out. And by the way, no one is loving Keonte George more than Ace Bailey, because Ace Bailey is getting that ball perfectly when he's making those curls from Keonte George, and he is knocking them down. In fact, let's just see if we can watch a few of these assists, because these were absolutely awesome. I just want to watch some of this. No, what? No, we can't. Come on, NBA. Ah, my heck. Let's try one more time. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's Key, top of the three-point line. Look how much poise he is. He's spreading it out and just makes a quick little pass to... That's just easy stuff. Here's Mikhailuk. Oh, my heck with the ads. All right, so this is running in transition, sets up a 3. That's an easy assist, but some of these are really nice. So watch this pick and roll stuff, just driving to the basket. This one was maybe one of the most impressive, because look who that is manipulating. He's manipulating Victor Wembanyama. Gets this ball, he's going left hand, drives in, draws Wembanyama, and opens up Nurkic for a 3. By the way, you can't run that play with Walker Kessler. Bailey, 18-inch pull-up. These are the ones that I'm so excited about. So that's probably some easy stuff there, but he's making the right pass. Let's see, let's see this one. So here's Keith. Look, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This right here. So watch. They've been running this play multiple times. They have an off screen here. Bailey comes up, and he's getting this free throw line extended area, and it's becoming a layup for him. Watch how Key just perfectly times this pass. Watch this. Boom, right there, rise and fire. He is doing that multiple times with Ace Bailey, and it's just working. It looks great. I'm really proud of Keonte George. I've been pro Key. You guys all know that. And it's just impressive. He really seems to have it takes time. Some of these players come into this league, They've been the best player on the floor their whole lives in AAU and college and things like that. And I'm sure Keonte George came into the league thinking, I'm going to make every single shot I take because that's what I've done my whole career. But all of a sudden, you're on the floor with NBA length, size, and athleticism, and things are not as easy as they were against smaller dudes in college and in AAU. And you have to adjust. And what makes me really happy about what Keonte George is doing is he is really discovering who he is as a player, what he can be. He may not be an all-star, but he's certainly looking like a starting caliber guard, right? And I think that's a win because by the end of last year, he was on the bench. But right now, after trading Colin Sexton, trading Jordan Clarkson, it's opened up this opportunity for him, and so far looking pretty good. I'd be interested to see what the coaching staff is saying, but he's playing well. And the other thing that you've got to be really happy about is he's defending. Now, he's getting targeted. He was really targeted in that first game a lot, and he had 4 fouls tonight. So one of the strategies we're already seeing is teams are targeting Keonte George. But what's really nice is he is at least, he's putting in big effort, and he's trying. And that's all you can ask. He's a little bit slight. Like, I don't know if he's going to be any more than, he doesn't look like he's any more than 180 pounds right now. But he is putting in effort, and the more just strength he can add, that if he can be just an average defender, if Keonte George really figures this all out tonight, 2 for 5 from 3, he hit a monster 3 to put this into overtime. By the way, just big time shots. This really was 2 for 4 because he had one kind of just heave at the end of the game. But if he is like knocking down these shots with efficiency, setting up his teammates. I mean, he was really rebounding the ball tonight. 9 rebounds, near triple-double for Key. I'm just really proud of this guy. He's figuring it out. 20 points. Let's see. No, that's ace. 12 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. That's fantastic stuff. So, got to give a lot of credit to Keonte George. We've already talked about Cody Williams, but I really liked what I saw. Bryce Sensabaugh, I think tonight we both saw the good and the bad. We saw why he probably comes off the bench a little bit. What Bryce Sensabaugh does is he gets buckets. That's what he does. And he is a lights-out shooter. Tonight he cooled off a little bit compared to last game, but man, is he a bucket getter. That's what he does. Now, he doesn't really do a lot else, but you know what? I think Bryce Sensabaugh is Buddy Hield. I think he's that caliber of shooter, and they're very similar players. Just extremely good three-point shooters that can do a little bit more. When they're on the floor, that's what they do, and it really helps you offensively because when you have a knockdown three-point shooter like that, it opens up lanes for everyone else. So, being an incredible shooter not only scores buckets, and that's part of it, but it does create spacing and it does create gravity and it opens things up because the guy guarding Sensabaugh is not coming off of him. So that opens up lanes for other players. I don't know if he does quite a lot else. Tonight he did have 2 steals, which is nice. 1 assist, but not a single rebound to be had. So he it's what he does is it gets buckets. He is a professional scorer. That is what he does. But hey, you'll take it. And if he's shooting just 40 to 45% from 3 and he's coming off the bench and you just get that spark, I mean, it would be pretty cool if Sensabaugh gets the 6th man of the year. I could see it. Why not? If he averages 18 to 20 points per game as a 6th man and shoots like an elite 3-point percentage, why not? Malik Beasley almost won 6th man last year, and that's kind of the type of player you're looking at, like a Buddy Hield or a Malik Beasley. I think he's going to be better than Malik Beasley, and Beasley's been a pretty good player his career. So I like it. I think he's really nice. Now, if he can improve in other areas, he's already kind of gotten more controlled, and he's making better decisions. Only 1 turnover tonight, which was nice. It was an ugly one, but it was nice. I mean, that was that one play where he stole the ball and then threw it right back to the Spurs, and then they scored an and one on him. It was rough. It was a rough little stretch, but he did get the steal. Anyways, he's fun to watch. He's really good, and he'll be a fun, nice 6th man for a long time, and maybe more. If he becomes a better defender and just improves overall, why not? Kevin Love. has been actually pretty decent for Utah. He's a stretch center. He's got gray hair. He's old. Not much else to say there. He probably is getting traded at some point. That was the rumor from Jake Fisher. So we'll see. But, for now, he's doing a good job and playing hard, and it's great. Kyle Anderson I don't know if he's good anymore. I'm kind of surprised he was good before. But 14 minutes tonight, they were not the greatest minutes. But what's funny is he plus or minus 0. He is basically a defensive player. He's a smart player. I don't know. I hope he doesn't take minutes from other players to get good. We got to talk about, John Tonji played for 3 minutes, 33 seconds. It was not the best. That's all we're going to say about John Tonji. Walter Clayton Jr. had a much better game tonight than he did last night. Much better. Much, much better. He looks really good. Utah all of a sudden is starting to get a lot of depth because they didn't even play Filipowski. They didn't play Lowry. They didn't play Kessler. And to be honest, I just don't know if they really, I guess you could argue they didn't need them because obviously having better players on the floor. Walker Kessler, for all I badmouthed him on the offensive end, he is really good on the defensive end. And Utah's a different team with him on that defensive end. Although Wembanyama gets him out of the paint, the nice thing is that Utah has so many big, long, athletic bigs now, it makes them really interesting. But anyways, back to Clayton. 33 minutes tonight, 50% from the field. Yeah, he was only 2 for 7 from 3, but he was taking them. He passed up 1 3 earlier in the game, and it was a bad decision. And from that point on, he was just taking them. For as good a shooter he was and how he looks like he will be, you want him taking these shots. Tonight, 2 for 7, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. I have a feeling he's going to be a nice guard off the bench for the Jazz for a long time. And who knows, maybe more. Yeah, he had a great dunk in traffic. It was nice. He just played well. He made strong plays, strong moves to the basket. He cut to the basket well. Look at this, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He plays bigger than he is. He's not very big, but he does kind of play bigger. And he's the type of guy I could see him being, who are we kind of comparing him a little bit to like a Fred VanVleet, where he can be really good if he's strong enough to defend and he makes big shots and he just becomes kind of a knockdown shooter who also passes the ball. Could be really nice. I don't know if he's going to be any more than kind of a backup guard, but that's fine. VanVleet was like that. You just come in and hit big shots, and if it's going great, you keep him in. And if it's a team that's much bigger and he's struggling, then you can just move him back to the bench. So I liked him. And look at that, +9 in this one. I still can't get over the +23 for Cody Williams, guys. I'm so happy for that guy. That's freaking nice. Michael Jordan, 23, baby. Anyways, really, really nice. I guess we've gone through the team. I don't know if I had much more. I did want to. That's what I forgot to talk about. Taylor Hendricks to end the game was playing center. And that's the thing that I've wanted to see. And I kind of have a feeling Utah likes it too. Him being at the center allowed them to score even more. It puts them in a 5-out. He's strong enough that he can play center. If you're playing against a team with a smaller guy at center, like a Bam Adebayo, I think Taylor Hendricks is fine playing the center position. And even with teams like, the Nuggets, if you're going to play against Nikola Jokic, I don't know who's stopping him anyway. I know historically Kessler's actually done okay. But I don't think anyone's stopping guys like Jokic, and when Embiid's fully healthy and playing well, like no one's stopping them fully. But if you can have Taylor Hendricks on the floor and you're switching and you're able to do things on offense that you couldn't normally, it kind of makes up the difference in a lot of ways. You get someone like Jokic and forcing him to have to go run out to the 3-point line and just get tired on that defensive end, or just opening up the lanes so Jokic can't just sit underneath the basket and try to block shots. There is so much about that is so effective, and it does help, and it does make a big difference. Like we all know what Rudy Gobert does near the basket. We've been so long, Utah has been a team that has relied so much on drop bigs. It'd be so nice, a change of pace to have a stretch big, right? and force Rudy Gobert to the three-point line when we play them. Have a taste of his own medicine. I promise you, guys like Rudy Gobert love playing against traditional centers like Kessler and Zubats and guys like that, because then they don't have to go out to the three-point line. When you have Taylor Hendricks out there, then they have to switch and they have to move and they don't like it. So it's really nice. So anyways, I'm going to watch that. I think I would love to see Taylor Hendricks be kind of that backup center at times. Or maybe he's out there at center when you're like, kind of like tonight where you're down and you're trying to catch up and you're scoring. It's great. And as this three-point percentage will go up as Taylor Hendricks just gets back into 100%. I'm sure he's close. It's just there's a part of me that wonders that if they've been a little bit careful, which they should be with his leg, and he might not quite be there. Although he played tough tonight, 15 points, 5 rebounds. I'm excited about Taylor Hendricks, guys, and I think he's playing his way into like more and more minutes, and it's really exciting to see. So, and we got a request for Tankathon. So you know what? Why not? Let's start the music. Let's start the music. All right, and let's make sure the sound, I mean, that might be a little too loud. Is that too loud? Okay. That's probably looking like the sound is a little better there. Okay. All right, so guys, here we go. Back to Tankathon. We're not going to focus on this too much because I'm excited to watch this team develop. And if they trade Lowry or Kessler or one or the other, it's going to be much easier to let them just win some games because I'll enjoy it because we're seeing Ace Bailey succeed and so on. And that's what I want to see. But I still want to get Darren Peterson or Cam Boozer or AJ DeBonsa on this Jazz team. All right. If the lottery was today, Utah's at number 1, what would happen? Boom! Top 3 pick, baby! Yeah! That means we get Cam Boozer. Let's go. Let's go. Exciting stuff. So, all right. So the Jazz have now gotten 2 star players on their team. That's what's crazy about this draft is all 3 of those guys are number 1 caliber guys. It's such a good draft. All right, it's time to give a shout out to the All-Stars, guys. If you'd like to join the channel and support what I'm doing, I would really appreciate it. You can hit join below. I'm going to start doing more members-only stuff to support my members and thank them. I appreciate what you guys do, and especially the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to See Ya, Lexalator, Jordan the Goat Besterol, Ryan Edward Perry, The Legend, Christian House Money DeHaas, Robert Hall of Fame, Cam Bam, thank you, ma'am, Cam Chin 3, I Believe in Steve, Jazz Exile, who was in person today, Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire, flipping the script, and Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The Jazz are on an exciting trajectory. They've got a guy. Ace Bailey is a guy. It's exciting.